All right, hello. We're live again for the third night in a row. I actually can't believe I've streamed 3 nights in a row. It's actually 4 nights in a row because I had my stream on my main channel Thursday night. So this is bananas, but I'm here and I am in the middle of painting Kingdom Come Wonder Woman. And today we're gonna make some significant progress because we're gonna finally put some real colors on this broad, and I'm excited about it. Got some stories to tell about things that happened today regarding this project and also a future project. It'll all make sense, I promise. But I'm not going to waste any time today. I'm not going to mess around. We are going to get right into the action. Let me tell you what exactly I'm going to be doing today. First of all, I'm going to be working on this again. I'm happy, very happy with this, but it is a little dark, and I'm going to be using the rich gold color on this because I'm no longer going to be using the rich gold on Diana. If I have black all over me, it's because I cleaned off my filter in the back of the airbrush, or back of the booth, whatever, who cares? Because of somebody that's in the chat right now, I no longer need to use the rich gold on this. So I'm going to be using it on this to put a highlight on this, and I'm excited about that. I don't know how it's going to work out. If it doesn't work out, who cares? This isn't for you, it's for me. So if I'm happy with it, that's really all that's going to end up mattering. But what we're also going to do, let me switch this up here. We are going to paint the red on Diana's boob cover. So I'm going to be masking all of this off, which should be a lot of fun. Got 3 brand new eggs of Silly Putty for that. Probably not going to need all 3, but maybe. I am also going to be painting the boots red. Well, I don't know if I specified. I'm not painting the gold today. Maybe not. I don't know. Depends on how quick everything goes. I might do the gold, but I'm definitely doing the red that's down here. And then also the red on the boots. And that's going to do it for the red, except for, I don't know what's going on with this thing. I'm trying to get this to stand up. I'm going to end up painting this red, and it'll make sense as we go on. This, not the whole thing, but this belt right here, which is supposed to be gold, I'm going to end up painting that red. Again, I'll explain that in a minute. But I'm also going to be painting this hoo-hoo and butt cover blue, because that's what color it is on Wonder Woman. And I'm not going to paint the stars today, but those are going to be a lot of fun. Kudos to Berserk, because these stars are all very thick sculpted. So they're going to be a lot easier to paint. And I'm very grateful for that. But I actually don't look at tedious jobs like that as a problem. I look at it as therapy. So it's cool. But I want to address this first, because this is the one that I'm a little bit nervous about. Only because I don't know how well the gold is going to work as a highlight, but I know I'm going to turn my compressor up here a little bit, and I'm going to use a different airbrush. I'm going to go to the gallery, not for any reason other than I haven't used it in a bit, and I want to use that one. And I'm going to end up spraying this with that. Now, that didn't make sense at all, what I just said. I'm going to be spraying this with the rich gold as a highlight, only on the upward-facing areas. But this, I'm also going to have to paint red. And I should probably explain, because none of it's going to make sense. So today, I went to the nerd store because somebody told me I needed to. And I bought these 2 paints. This is Auric Armor Gold and Retributor? Retributor armor? I bought both of these. And what I ended up doing, and the person who told me I needed to buy those, he knows who he is. And he's in here. Reason why I said I'm going to paint it red is because I got home with these and I started experimenting. I started playing around with it. And what I ended up doing was I painted this stripe right here black, this red, and this with deck tan. And then I put these colors over top of it. And why am I finding it hard to remember? Retributor armor. That should be easier to say. That's down here at the bottom on all three colors. And you can see it's a lot darker. It's almost a bronzier color. The Auric armor is up here, way lighter. Did not cover as good. It would have if I put several coats on it. But what I ended up doing was I have a little spot right here. And I don't know, with my dirty fingernails, I don't know how well it's going to show through. But this spot right here on the red is the one that stands out from a mile away for me as the winner of this competition. So what I'm going to end up doing is spraying all of the parts that need to be red on Diana, or excuse me, need to be gold on Diana. I'm going to spray those red, and then I'm going to put both of these on it, starting with the Retributor armor, and then followed that up with the Auric armor. Why? Citadel, just dark gold, light gold. Come on. I mean, why do you got to confuse everybody? So that's the story. And damn it, I'm sticking to it. And I'm pretty excited about it because this should be fun. And I'm not going to waste any time at all because I am not streaming for 3.5 hours tonight. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. You can't force me. So I'm just gonna get going here. But this wing situation here, if you know about Diana Prince's like battle suit, she has a big eagle wing type thing. She wore it in 1984. It looked a little corny, but that's a thing. That's what this represents. And I want this to be the same color, the really bright gold, as the gold on her outfit. So that's why I'm going to end up spraying this red and then do the gold treatment on top of that. The God Killer sword, going to have to reposition it here. The God Killer sword is also, the handle is gold. I think there's a special name for sword handles. I'm a nerd, but I'm not that much of a nerd. What's a sword handle called? Who cares? But even though this looks like it's leather, in the comics, it's all gold. From here down is all gold. So that's going to have to get the same treatment. So we're painting a lot of red today. And then I don't know if we're going to get to that gold. We can, because since I don't have to clean out my airbrush extensively after doing that gold, because I'm going to be doing all of that with a brush, it'll be easy to stop doing it and pick it back up again later on. So this is exciting stuff. I'm excited. I don't know how exciting it is to watch, but it's super exciting for me. So now I think I'm going to want to do it this way. I think I'm going to want to paint these separate because that's going to have to be red. So I don't want to get a bunch of that gold on top of it. And I don't want to spray this. Well, I just said I'm not going to spray it. I'm going to paint it with a brush. Even though it's huge, that's what she said, I'm going to paint it with a brush. And I ain't worried about it. I'm not scared of that at all. So I'm only going to hit this area down here with the rich gold. And then we'll set it to the side. And hopefully this will be dry enough later on that I can put that red on. But we'll have to see. It probably won't be, because I am going to want to spray the red on that. We'll see. Who cares? This is fun. We'll just fly by the seat of our pants. The gold that I put on this last night is Vallejo Liquid Metal Old Gold. This one is Rich Gold. So there's that. And I'm sorry if I don't address the chat much, but you know, when I address the chat a lot, y'all get me going, and I end up doing more talking than I do working. And I don't like that. No offense. I want to get some work done on this tonight. And so I don't want to be waffling all night. I'm going to start on the top. Because that, if this doesn't really work as a highlight on the top, there's really no reason to continue. I'm almost just gonna put this on almost like a zenithal. Is it doing anything? I don't know. I don't know if it shows on camera, but it's not doing a whole hell of a lot here on my end. But then again, the lighting is not the best for this situation. So maybe that's the problem. Boy, that's pretty, isn't it? Berserk did a great job with the sculpt on this. That is really, really fancy. Question for those in the chat that use airbrushes that have big compressors. Mine is a big compressor. Not the only thing I have that's big. Anyway, does your compressor do that thing when it gets full? Because that annoys the ever-living hell out of me. And I've never had one do that. I've only had the small compressors that basically as soon as you pull the trigger, they start running. I guess I'm gonna have to refer to the video to see how much of a difference that made. But that is, I don't care who you are, that's impressive. Not me, but that paint is impressive. It's instant gold. It's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Love it. If I put it up next to this, I don't know. I don't know how much of a difference you can tell. I can definitely see it holding them next to each other. I don't know how much it's going to show up on camera though. This one is certainly a lot darker, and it looks like it has a lot more red in it. You know, it gets the point across. What are you going to do? I probably will hit this with a wash of some type also after it dries, just to pop some of those details. But I have no particular method here or strategy. I'm just painting from the top down. That's all I'm doing. Because I don't know how else to do it. And it's really, really difficult to see what's been done and what hasn't. It's kind of like spraying deep sky blue and then spraying, why is the focus way up there in the corner? This is so dumb. I hate this camera so much. It's like painting deep sky blue and then using sky blue as a highlight. It's like, it's hard. You can't tell what you've hit and what you haven't. But I like it. I like that a lot. Just like Lloyd Christmas, I like it a lot. That's pretty. Now, I want to start masking Diana. I am not afraid of masking, not in the slightest. I am not annoyed by masking. As a matter of fact, I know that it's going to make the job better, so it doesn't bother me one bit. Oh, this is completely upside down too, isn't it? Is it normally upside down? No, I usually, all right, let me switch that because that's going to drive me insane. And if it's going to drive me insane, I know it would drive you insane. And I think it is a simple thing. That's not it. Pardon the interruption here. That's not it either. Where the hell did I find this last time? I use a software called Ecamm Live, and it's great, but it's also, it's got so many features on it that it's hard to remember where everything is. And I cannot remember for the life of me where I did this. Shit, I'm so sorry. This is not cool to watch, I'm sure. And I don't want to switch all of them. Damn it, how did I do that? Damn, that's going to drive me crazy. I'm sorry, I have to figure this out. Because, okay, I think I'm almost there. I'm finding it. It's close. I'm almost there. Okay, hold on. Video, no, not that. Shit. Video shit, no, that's not it either. Okay, well. Oh man, I don't know how much that's gonna drive you all crazy, but it's gonna drive me crazy. And I did not think I needed, okay, I found it. I did not think I needed to do this every time, but I guess I do. What? That was supposed to be it. Oh, that's not the right one. Damn it, this is so bad. I apologize. I know this is probably not exciting. I'm going to keep apologizing until I get this straightened out, because it's not letting me do what I wanted to do. I guess it's just not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. It's got to be on here. I'm sorry. This is challenging to do while live. Hold on a second. I'm on to something here. I'm on to something here. I gotta scoot over here so I can actually read it. I think I found it. But I still have to find it. It's in this spot. I know it is. Maybe. Ha! There we go. See? That's more natural now, isn't it? You're welcome. At least, but wait a minute. It's still the same way. It switched wait, did it even switch? Oh, that's not the right way. Son of a bitch. Okay, I'm probably just going to end up not caring because it's too much to try to figure this out. I thought it was in this one spot here. Yeah, that's not. I can make it black and white. Shit. I really wanted to be able to do this because I figured it out at some point. And now it's escaping me. And that really sucks. So it's just going to be upside down. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's disorienting for you. I didn't want it to be this way. I wanted my hands to be coming up from the bottom of your screen. Even though the camera is on this side. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Who cares? Move on. I'm over it. Now, while I'm doing this, I do need to tell a fun story. And it's a story that I think every nerd, which I know not everybody in the chat right now is a nerd. We don't all admit it. But every nerd can appreciate this kind of a thing. And there's really no lesson to be learned about using Silly Putty. It's literally just put it on. So I don't need to talk through this as if it's some kind of big tutorial. 3D painters or the 3D painter or anyone else who paints 3D models might look at my application of Silly Putty as being really, really thick. Like, good God, John, you're using one entire egg just for this one spot on her chest. And that's because I've had the one experience where I put it on too thin and got paint through it and had to repaint a big part. And that infuriated me. So now I just go heavy with it. But anyway, so today I had a plan. I knew exactly what I was going to do today. My wife and I were going to work in our barn. And in order to do the work in our barn, I needed to get some stuff from Lowe's. And where I live, everything is a minimum of 45 minutes to an hour away from me, except for your main things. Like, we have a grocery store. It's a Food Lion. We have all the fast food, except for the ones that are really good, like Chick-fil-A. We don't have one of those. Closest Chick-fil-A to us is 45 minutes away in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. But what's also in Elizabeth City is Lowe's and a nerd store, the one that I've talked about. I talked about last night, that sells Warhammer stuff. They are also in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. That's 45 minutes from me. This masking, by the way, also does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be completely covering her skin, because I'm going to paint the gold by hand. So if it does get, if this edge is not perfect, it's not going to matter. As long as it doesn't go on the skin, that will make me want to start throwing things. But I also have to mask up to her tiara. I'm going to paint that red too. But when you live in a place like I do, and you're going to Lowe's, that is like an event, and you want to plan accordingly to make the best use of the trip. And so I was like, okay, well, the nerd store is on the way. On the way to Lowe's. So I'll stop at the nerd store and I will buy what the 3D painter said I needed to buy. But the problem is, again, living in rural North Carolina, everybody goes to church on Sundays. Except for me, because I'm not a good person. And so everything in my town is closed on Sundays. So that it always seems like when I really need something, it's always going to be on a Sunday, and that's when everything's closed, and it's a real bummer. But I remembered, I said, I swear, I remember there's another nerd store in Elizabeth City, like 5 minutes down the road from that other nerd store. The nerd store that I go to pretty regularly is called Castle Tower Nerd Store. It's not called Nerd Store, but it's called Castle Tower Games and Hobbies or something like that. It's a really cool store, but again, they're closed on Sundays. So I was not able to go there. But I looked up the other one on Google Maps, and I found it on Google Maps. And I said, but you know what? I don't know. It's not like it says on the Google Maps listing, we sell Citadel, we sell this, we sell that. It's just like, it's just a nerd store is what it's like. The listing doesn't really tell you everything that they sell in there. So I did what I've done many, many times. And if you're enough of a nerd, you've done it too. You just go to the pictures that the business posts or that customers post, and you look at the pictures and you see if you can see what you're looking for in the background. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that is that much of a nerd. I don't know. But that's what I do. And that's how I've found several nerd stores, is by looking at the pictures. And you'll see it, or I'll see it. It's like, oh, okay, they have Monument. They have whatever. Nobody has Vallejo around here except for Hobbytown. So I'm looking at the images that were posted by customers, and I'm not seeing anything. My qualification to be officially entered into my list of official nerd stores is it has to have a rack of Citadel paints. If it has that rack of Citadel paints, it makes my list of nerd stores. So I'm looking at the pictures. I'm not seeing it, but I did see one. I saw one picture. It was a picture of some broad. I don't know who she was. She might have been a customer. I don't know. And I saw in the bottom corner of the picture, I saw a can of Chaos Black. And I said, okay, that's it. That means they have it. Sure, it could be that some nerd brought their can of Chaos Black to the nerd store with them, and it's getting my hopes up, and I'm going to show up there, and it actually isn't a Citadel retailer, but I decided to give it a try. I was going over there anyway to go to Lowe's, so I said, I'm going to swing through there. I swung through. I walked in the door. I was immediately greeted by a very large mass of nerds. This looked like the freaking, the damn fraternity on Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, they were all in there. And please understand, I'm not being insulting when I describe these people as nerds. I'm one of them. I am equally as nerd as these guys are. So I'm not making fun of these guys. These are my people here, okay? So don't get it twisted. Don't think I'm being mean to these dudes. No, these are my people here, and I love these people. So they greet me as if I'm like the coolest man in the world. I'm excited about that, but I don't even really care about that. All I care about is, do they have Citadel paints? And I look in the back of the room, and there it is. And you can insert that ah sound effect right there. There it is. The rack of Citadel, full complement of Citadel paints in all of its glory. And what made it even better, what served as a nice little bonus, is the fact that there was an Army Painter rack right next to it. Now, I've never used Army Painter paints. And it's not for there's no reason for that. I just haven't. There's so many colors from Army Painter. I don't know what's what. And it's like, if I was going to use their paints, like, I would probably just buy some kind of starter kit or something like that. I don't know. And I don't know if their paints are any good or what. I mean, you know, I'm a Vallejo guy. I love Vallejo so much. Yeah, I did that somehow. I'm always going to choose Vallejo first, but I've never tried Army Painter, but it's cool that there's also Army Painter there. So I mean, it's an amazing thing to find a new nerd store. That's a big deal for me. I love me a good nerd store, and I found a good one today. And they had the paints that I was looking for. So it was a happy, happy day. Yeah, this is not going to want to work out well. Why does Diana have to have her elbow crooked like that? So anyway, who hasn't put in the chat yet that I haven't cleaned my airbrush out yet? Shame on all you nerds for not reminding me that I should be cleaning that airbrush out. I'm not going to be completely reckless with this paint, but I also don't want to half-ass the masking either. Why do so many modelers hate masking so much? I genuinely don't. I really don't care. Like, I got a lot of problems. Masking is absolutely not one of them. But a lot of people hate it. Do they hate it just because Ground Affected hates it? Or do they hate it because it genuinely sucks? I don't know. He talks about it all the time, about how he hates masking. I don't know. I don't really give a shit. I'm not saying I don't give a shit about how he feels. I'm saying it doesn't bother me. It makes the results better. So you should want to do it. I avoid tape on skin tones as much as I possibly can. And so I'll put paper down and then just put the silly putty over it. Holy shit. That's how I do it. And this does need to be tight on this particular edge here because I'm not hand painting this red. My friends that are here from the fish keeping world, you're probably looking at this and you're probably like, what? Silly putty? Silly putty is a gift to model painters. It's the best. It's super cheap. You can use it over and over and over and over again. And it works great. And when you pull it off, it doesn't pull the paint off with it, which makes it even better. Okay, we're good. Where did my clip go? So that's the only masking, well, I probably should mask this, but I also really don't want to. But I suppose I can pick that up on another day. I'm really concerned, or not concerned like like I'm worrying about it. My concern is getting paint on to Diana, getting that red on. Why do I feel like I'm missing something as far as the masking goes? I'm not. We're good. You need to use very low tack for skin masking, especially because I've found to date is Tamiya masking tape, but it's expensive as fook. I just avoid it as much as I can. I mean, I realize I put some on there, a little tiny bit, but really the only place it's touching on that one arm that I masked is on her gauntlets, which are going to be hand painted with the silver anyway. So it should be fine. But you're absolutely right, Ron, and that's why I stay away from that at all costs. If I can just use silly putty, I'll do that 100 times out of 100. Now, what I'm going to end up doing here, because I don't want to spend the whole stream cleaning my airbrush again, I'm going to do a quick clean on this, and then I'm going to switch to the H&S so that it's non-stop entertainment here tonight, because that's what I'm all about. And please, Ron, as you're watching me, whenever I make comments like that, don't feel like I'm saying that because everybody else is boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a call out. That is me having streamed for 10 years on this platform, and I've heard every single complaint you could ever hear. I hear them still to this day, every single stream. I hear them all. Yeah, you know, it just is what it is. And so I'm overly paranoid all the time of, oh, this is going to be, people are going to say this. And the funny thing is, I don't care if people say those things, but I still try to avoid it. It's weird. I'll do whatever I can do to try to appease everyone. It never works, but I try. And it's not easy. It is not easy. You know this because you've been streaming daily. It is not easy to talk nonstop. I mean, it's really not. It's incredibly difficult and incredibly exhausting. All right, I am going to set this to the side. And now, because I'm a baller, I have a second airbrush and we can just move right along. Paint thinner sucks so bad. I hate it. because it stinks. All right. So my strategy for the red is Mephisto red, Mephiston red. I call everything comic book characters. Mephisto. This will always be Mephisto red to me, even though it's Mephiston red. It's always going to be Mephisto. For the highlights, I'm going with Megalodon Flame, and Blood Angels red for the shadows, which on her boobs I probably won't need a whole lot of because there's a lot of black underneath there. But we'll see. Just ask Lisa. They ask now, constantly upgrading my pawns. John, if anyone can talk nonstop, it's you. Oh, that's so true. You're doing fine, bro. I take no offense to anything. Well, please don't. That's good. It's good that you don't, because I just talk. I don't know. I have been, the last 3 streams, I have been shouting people out. Yes, inspired by Mr. 3D Painter, because he's been doing that, and I think it's awesome. I've always loved seeing others do that, and I've always loved doing that myself. I watched a video today that was absolutely fantastic. And the project made me, I was inspired by this YouTuber, and I'd never seen him before. And I want to check my YouTube here real quick so that I can verify the name, because this video that I watched was fantastic. And it is El Diablo Studios. He did the title says life size. It's not life size, but it's a really big Todd McFarlane Spider-Man, the cover of Spider-Man 1. And it hangs on the wall. It's incredible. It's an incredible print. And he did that 100% with FDM. And he did a fantastic job on it. So if you like Spidey, take a look at that. I should have put a link to it in the description of this. Oh, great. Of course I'm getting a Jackson Pollock, because it's a live stream, so why wouldn't I? Now, I'm gonna paint everything on here red, like I was talking about, because that's my strategy with the gold, is to coat it in red first. So even the gold parts, I'm painting red. This Mephisto red, which I know I'm saying wrong, is the only Citadel Air color I've ever used. And it's good. It's pretty thick, so it's weird that they advertise it as air, but it's pretty good. And it's really good for DC comic book character capes and outfits. But that life-size Spider-Man hanging from the wall, I swear to you, I have been thinking about wanting to do something like that, where you find a really cool Spider-Man model and then you just don't print the base, and you make him, instead of being on the side of a building or whatever, make them be on the wall. And then he puts out that video today showing that. I was like, damn, it's like he reads my mind. It's not like I was thinking about that this morning when that video came out, but it's one of those things that I've wanted to do. And so when I saw that, I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I've been looking for. And it's a Todd McFarlane, so it's awesome because Todd McFarlane's awesome. I'll say it right to your face. This bottom, the sole of her boots are also going to be gold, which is interesting. And then the stripe going down the middle and then the trim around the top is straight up white, like white. So I'm going to end up probably painting that with deck tan and then putting the white over top of that. Yes. That's the question that you're asking right now. Yes is the answer. Yes, I learned that from Ground Affected, just like you did. Anything that you're going to coat in white, or anything, if you're going to be painting white, if you're going to paint red over things, coat it with deck tan first. And he's so right. But I do like the way this paint looks over top of black. So there's also that. I don't like it when it spits, but the challenge here is to get that red down in there between the letters of the W, the two W's. I'm going to end up painting this entire shield red because there's gold all the way around. I don't know. Yeah, I will be doing every single star the same way. I'll go through and cover it with the whatever the hell it is, Rasputin red. I don't know. Games Workshop's stupid names. But there's also the two rings are silver, the same color as her gauntlets. The inside stripe is blue, and then the outside stripe is blue. There's so many colors in this. The very outer rim is gold. So this shield is going to be a challenge, but it's going to be very therapeutic, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. So I'll say it to your face. I'm wondering if experienced painters have put in the chat already, John, stop being such an amateur. You got to shoot a couple times away from the piece before you hit the piece, if you haven't sprayed it in a little bit, to get that tip dry off. I know this, but I just never do it because I'm hard-headed, and I prefer to do everything the hard way. And, you know, Jackson Pollock was really talented, so I like to honor him as much as I can. I don't know the first goddamn thing about Jackson Pollock. I've seen the Ed Harris movie and it was good, but I know that that's what his paintings are, is just paint splatter everywhere. To appease everybody. Damn, Diana, your back is looking gross. Some kind of alien? No, I'm an Amazonian. Now, I want everybody to be honest. I want you to be honest with yourself, and I want you to be honest in the chat. Were you a fan of Wonder Woman before the movie? I bet you most people's answer to that question would be no. Which means the movie was an overwhelming success. Because after that movie, every damn body was a fan of Wonder Woman because that movie was so good. Maybe not the second one, but the first one was fantastic. And again, I'll say it right to your face. I'm not afraid to admit that at all, and I don't think it's embarrassing for anybody to admit that because it was a really good movie. Gal Gadot was a good choice. She did a good job. Chris Pine did a good job. I don't remember anybody else that was in it, but they did a good job too. Everybody did a good job. I was a fan of Wonder Woman growing up, but I didn't really admit it to anybody because, you know, that would be the kind of thing when I was going to school that you get your butt kicked for. Like, you like Wonder Woman? What? Okay, Beto Beto. I don't care. I don't care about Jackson Pollock's thoughts I don't care. It's funny when I get paint splatter to say I'm painting like Jackson Pollock. I mean, I have no clue what his thought process was, because when you look at his paintings, they just look like paint splatter. And we all know, because we've seen the Ed Harris movie, he was a raging drunk. So God only knows what was going through that man's head when he was splattering paint all over the floor where he had his canvas. I mean, come on. And he's also no longer with us, rest his soul. So it is impossible for me to hurt his feelings right now. So, and that's not me being rude to you. I'm just saying, like, he might have been a genius. I don't care. Because his paintings were drunken paint splatters. And when my airbrush does that, I like to call it painting Jackson Pollock. You can't stop me. You've been in enough of my streams to know that I break balls. I'm not being mean to you. You know this, so don't get bent out of shape. If you need to know what a good ball busting from me is all about, just ask Whips World. He knows. He is well versed in John Hudson ball busting. He knows it. Okay. So, this is a ballsy move. I know this. I know it's ballsy. And I know it's risky. But I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to turn my air pressure down. You can't hurt my feelings. We're cool. See, good. I'm glad. See, because that is That's just what I do. And some people can't handle it. Some people are sensitive. And would you please type out, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to spell the pronunciation. Beto or Beto. Because I don't know. I don't know how you would tell me that, but if you wouldn't mind, I'd really like to say your name right. I don't care about saying the name of the fish right, but I sure would like to say that your name right. My air pressure is way low. It's almost too low. Yeah, see, it's not much, but it's there. People that are masters at this craft, like the 3D painter, are probably like, this freaking guy, what does he think he's doing? Orange contrast paint as a highlight? Like, what did you just start painting models 7 months ago or something? Well, the truth is, it always makes me nervous. Highlights always make me nervous because, you go too far with them, then it just looks ridiculous. And the same can be said for shadows. I mean, I've seen so many models where I'm just like, come on, man. Like, and I'm not saying yours, Ron. I'm just saying I've seen so many models where I'm like, did we need to go that hard with the shadows, or with the like black shadows? And it's like every single muscle is, and I'm just like, isn't that just a bit much? I don't know. Maybe that's just my lack of experience. But now watch me just spray the dog shit out of these shadows and make myself look like an asshole. But I do think, in my opinion, if I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong, somebody come out with it. Come on. Give me the movie reference. That is a softball for anyone. If you don't get that movie reference, then fuck right off. That's how I feel about you. If you don't get that movie reference. You do you, boo-boo. Good. I'm glad I got your stamp of approval. When I say what I'm saying about the shadows, I'm not calling anybody out in particular, but I always like shadows. And again, yeah, I mean, how many times have we talked about it? We have our own way of doing things. We have what appeals to us. We have what does not appeal to us. And super dark, over the top shadows, it's just something that turns me off. And I don't know why. I'm not saying I'm against painting shadows. I'm saying some painters go overboard with it. And it looks great, but just not for me. Like, I don't want it like that. I want it more subtle. But we all do things the way we do things, right? So now, on the topic of shadows, Blood Angels Red. I've said it so many times. I paint a lot of Supermans, and this is how I do it. And Wonder Woman and Superman, I mean, you know, they're not one and the same, but I mean, they did have a baby together in Kingdom Come. What? Come on, John. Stop with the spoilers. But no, the Wonder Woman's red color is very similar to Superman's red color. So whatever I do on the Superman, that's what I'm going to do on her. And this is probably not even going to be dark enough. I need to adjust my light here, because I can't see a damn thing. I always have to remind myself to be careful with this too, because it darkens up on you when it dries. I just want to get her out of this masking as fast as I can. Why don't you have your spray booth on? Because I'm barely spraying anything. And I need to be spraying more. But it's just not wanting to come out the way I want it to. All right, I'm gonna let that dry. Also, keeping in mind, this is a rendering of a comic book character, not a realistic, this Wonder Woman has never been played in live action. So we don't want to go with hyper realistic, which is good because I'm not capable of that anyway. So we want it to look cartoony. I got done with that model that I showed the people who stuck with me all the way to the end last night, which I don't know if the person I made it for is in the chat right now, so I don't want to say it, but the green and yellow one. And that's the same thing. It's a cartoon character. Not a cartoon character, but it's a toon version of that. And it was so much fun because it's just so casual. It's so easy. Not easy, but it's like, I'm not worried about making it look ultra realistic. I don't know how to do that anyway, so it's great. It's wonderful. She has got something on her that I want to get off so bad. Okay, that is just not cutting it. But I know one that will. Okay. Thank you, 3D Painter. See, I knew I could count on you, Ron. You got the Princess Bride reference. Ride? Because you know that movie, Princess Bride, is such a great movie. God, I'm so stupid. If I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong, they're heading to the fire swamp. This low air pressure can kiss my ass. I'm going to go with the heavy hitter, the Berserker. I just spent, what, 5 minutes talking about, I don't like the extreme shadows. And then I'm sitting here saying, my shadows aren't dark enough. I keep wanting to think that that it was Lord Farquaad that said that, but I don't. I know that's not his name on Princess Bride. What was his name on Princess Bride? I am totally drawing a blank. It's the guy from Fright Night, though. That's all I know. Do we remember that movie? Fright Night was amazing. And what have I done here? He is the main vampire in Fright Night. And I believe they remade Fright Night. So if you're a young person, you might be like, what? That's not the guy. Well, it's because we're talking about a different movie. As a follower of Berserk and Wicked, they put up a post a couple of weeks ago asking if we were to do a Halloween model for our patrons. They asked for suggestions. And I could be wrong, but being on the outside looking in, it appeared to me that the number one response was the Lost Boys. And that made me incredibly happy. Michael Jackson Thriller was another big vote getter, which also made me incredibly happy. I don't think they're going to do it because they just did, literally 2 weeks ago, they released a Michael Jackson. And I do think they missed an opportunity. They should have done Zombie Michael from Thriller. I don't care what anybody says, the most iconic character that was ever on a music video, period. And I think they missed a great opportunity to do that. But the model that they did was him doing the Super Bowl halftime show for the 1993 Super Bowl, which is amazing. I mean, that's an amazing sculpt. I can't wait to do it. But they still should have done Thriller. My suggestion was American Werewolf in London, because they were asking for Halloween themed. Of course, a lot of people suggested Michael Myers, which makes sense because they've done a Jason, they've done a Freddy. They have not done a Michael Myers. So that'd be great. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people were talking about Terrifier. I guess that Prince Humperdinck, thank you. Humperdinck. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it but me. Lord, what the F? Joe, have you never watched anything in your life? You don't even know who Lord Farquaad is. Shame, Joe. Shame on you. This guy, y'all, he is one of the biggest KG Tropicals supporters, and I value him so much. I appreciate him so much. But that dude has never watched a movie. He's never read a comic book. He's never done anything cool in his life. And it really upsets me. Now, one thing about this masking here, I will be doing it again. Because when her top is done, I'm going to top coat it all with probably satin. So I'm going to have to mask it again. But I want to get it off of there. As good as Silly Putty is, I don't want to leave it on there for 5 days. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to stream again, because I have a shameful story to tell, and I am ashamed of this. I truly am. My son, now I'm not ashamed of this. My son, he's actually my stepson, but I call him my son. And I mean, I've had him since he's 4 years old. Like, you know, I might as well call him my son. He is an active duty service member with the United States Navy. And he deployed 12 months ago. Boy, did I ever miss the mark. But it's okay, because I can touch that up by hand. I didn't get it on the skin tones, but I did not do a good job. It doesn't matter. And damn it, I didn't paint her tiara. But that's going to be easy. He's active duty Navy. He deployed a year ago, and he was on the longest, I'm just going to do that by hand, because I got to do the wings by hand anyway. The longest deployment in U.S. Navy history since Vietnam. He was deployed for a year on a ship out there. And when he deployed, there was no war, at least not a war, not one of our wars. And then while he was deployed, a war started, which he got pulled into. And so he was out there for almost a year. And when he was out there deployed, I started this hobby. My wife, fortunately, was able to communicate with him every once in a while by way of email. And she told him about this hobby that I'm doing. And he was really excited about it. And I told her, I said, next time you message him, ask him if I was to make a model for him, what he would want. And so she did. And he came back with Saruto Gojo, which is a character from Jujutsu Kaisen, I think is the name of it. I don't watch anime. I don't know the first thing about anime. But he asked for either Gojo or what's the other one's name? Sukuna. Sukuna. They are from Jujutsu Kaisen. I need to flip this screen out here real quick so I can see what my battery is doing. So she told me that, and I was like, okay, I don't know who that is, but I'll look it up, I'll find it, and I'll do one. And so, and I did just that. I found a really, really cool model of Gojo. I didn't know who Gojo was either until, what is it? Am I not on the screen? Who's saying, okay, never mind. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen. So, long story short, I did this Saruto Gojo model, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. It was a good one. I was really happy with the results. He came home from deployment, home to Norfolk, which is where he's stationed, which is an hour and a half from us. And then he got settled into a new apartment and everything, and then he came home. You know, I don't know why I did that. And I gave him that model. He lost his mind. He was like, oh my God, this is the coolest effing thing I've ever seen in my life. This is the coolest thing ever. This is the best. Thank you. He was so appreciative. I've made a lot of models for a lot of people. Never have I gotten a reaction like that out of anybody. But some of them I've shipped to people, and so I wasn't there with them when they opened it up or whatever. So anyway, he was super excited about it. He was here for the weekend, and he started talking about how he wants to possibly start in this hobby. So I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. Let's do it. You know, I can walk you through the whole thing and all of that. And I'm going to start painting this blue, by the way, on Diana's booty cover. So, oh man, I'm going to go with this. So we start talking about it, and he starts asking me all kinds of questions. And he's asking me questions like, how long did it take for you to get good at it? And I'm like, okay, first of all, dude, that's nice of you, but I'm not good at this. I'm just starting with this. Like, you like your model, and that's great, and I'm so glad, but I'm not good at this yet. And he's like, well, but you've only been doing it 6 months. I said, I know. So I'm not mad about it. You know, I'm learning, and it's fun, and I enjoy it, and, you know, it is what it is. And he was like, well, you know, if you're painting this good, having only done it for 6 months, then, you know, it shouldn't take me long. I should be able to get pretty good at it pretty quick. I said, yeah, you absolutely should, especially when I know that he is somebody that is obsessive beyond obsessive. Like, he's the kind of kid, and I'm not saying this because he's my kid. I'm saying this because it's just the truth. He's the kind of kid that if he decided he was going to start playing guitar, like, he'd be playing freaking Slash solos after like 3 months. I mean, like, he would pick it up so fast because that's him. It's not that he excels at everything, but when he sets his mind to something, he gets really good at it really fast. And this is not the same son that ran the 50-miler. That's the other one. I got 2 and 3 daughters. But anyway, so he's asking me all of these questions, and I'm like, you know what? We have the easiest solution to answer all of these problems here, all of these questions. Why don't you just come here and do a model with me? You can use all of my stuff. You can go through the whole printing process with me and all of that. And my airbrush is clogged again. Maybe if I was better at, there we go. So I'm like, just come here, we'll do a model together, the whole process. You can use all of my paints. I can give you some, I can tell you what I know about this stuff. And we'll see if it's something that you like doing. We don't need to see if you're good at it, because you might be a prodigy and be great at it the second you start, or you might need to take some time to learn it. But the point is, you can come here, use all of my shit, and you can find out. And he's like, that's awesome, I love that, that's cool. So we sat on the computer, we found a model that we were gonna do. And since he originally asked for either Gojo or Sukuna, he was like, well, I wanna do Sukuna then. And I said, okay. And we found the model on CG Trader, and it was like $14 or something like that. And I was like, I will print this out, because you don't need to know whether or not you like the printing process. I mean, that doesn't really matter. All you need to know is if you have the patience and if you enjoy the painting process. So I'll print it out for you, and I'll have it waiting for you when you come next time. And so it was all set, good to go. He texts me a couple days later, and he says, okay, I'm gonna come there on the 13th. I was like, all right, cool, that'll work. The 13th of July. I said, that works. I'll get it printed out, and it'll be ready for you when you get here. Well, tomorrow's the 13th. My wife and I were working in the barn today, and she was like, oh yeah, CJ's coming tomorrow. Or CJ's still coming tomorrow, you know that, right? And I said, oh, okay. Yeah, I knew that. So that was a bit of a surprise. And so I had to scramble and start printing. So I had to buy the STL, which, I mean, I agreed to do that. If I had told him, hey, I need $14 from you for the STL, he'd be like, whatever. But I'm not worried about that. But then, unfortunately, we actually, after talking about it, realized tomorrow's actually not going to work for me and Lisa. So he's not coming till Friday. But I've got it on the printer right now. It's a 1/6 scale, because that's what I do. And it is really cool. It is a I mean, he's a Japanese anime character that is shooting a flame arrow. I don't know. It's on CG Trader. Just search Sukuna something. I don't know. Jujutsu Kaisen Sukuna. You will see the model I'm talking about. I guess you probably will. I don't know. And I don't think I'm going to do a video about it or show it on the live stream or anything like that. If I'm being honest with you, I don't even know about this live streaming thing. I enjoy it. It's fun, but I also I want to work on these things and not be live, because when things like this happen, it doesn't piss me off. I'm just like, oh, whatever. My airbrush is clogged. Welcome to airbrushing. No big deal. you know, when you're doing it in front of 48,000 people, it's a little intimidating. But, you know, he would have no issue whatsoever being in a video if I was to do a video about that whole thing. But I'm not going to do that. So it's probably something that you, the audience, will never see. But whatever. My husband has a 3D printer and asked me if I wanted a toothless and stitch model. And I said yes, but it needs to be painted the way the pic shows. Toothless and stitch. Did your iPhone really change Lilo to toothless? That's weird. I told him I need to ask John to paint it for me. Oh, now see, I don't know about that. I mean, I could probably get away with a Lilo and Stitch. That wouldn't be too hard, but because again, we're talking about a cartoon character. But okay. So where are we at here? I don't want to do the gold yet. Well, I still have blue to finish up. I'm not a one and done on the blue. I do need to, I need to put a highlight on that. So I got to finish that up. And then I think for fun, I think I'll paint that lasso. The lasso that she's holding. I'm just going to paint it gold because that's what it is. No, toothless and stitch meshed into one. Oh, okay. I think my first projects would be the cast of The Godfather, Sopranos, and SOA. Why does that not surprise me, Joe? The Sons of Anarchy one surprises me a little bit, but not the other two. Not for you. Not with a last name like Provenzano. Hey, forget about it. Get the fuck out of here. What are you, crazy? The Provenzanos. You know that guy. That fucking guy. Get the fuck out of here. I've never heard you speak, Joe, but that's what I hear. When you type things out, that's what I hear. I hear, I think my first project would be the cast of The Godfather. That sounded kind of like Christopher Walken. So stupid. It's 10:30, I'm tired. I didn't go to bed till 2 a.m. last night because of y'all. So, anyway. The blue that I used is way darker than I was expecting. So I'm going to come in with a much lighter highlight. I was going to use dark blue. I know that sounds funny. It is a very dark blue butt cape and hoo-hoo cover. But that's not gonna do anything. So maybe I'll go with magic blue. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I like to live dangerously. And Joe, you know better than to take offense to that too, by the way. Take offense to how horrible that impression of you was. And how potentially, it's not racist, but offensive that might have been to Italians. I love Italians. I'm gonna tell you something. My future son-in-law is an Italian, and my daughter's, she's going to be, I hope, I mean, the dude is awesome. So I hope they end up getting hitched. But I'm obsessed with mafia movies. And so I always say stupid shit like that. Hey, forget about it. I'm one of those idiots. Even though I know nobody talks like that. My favorite scene from Donnie Brasco is the forget about it scene. When he's sitting there in the hotel room and the guy, typical white boy like me, is asking him, what is it with the forget about it? And he's like, just forget about it. I love that scene so much. Johnny Depp absolutely killed it on that movie. That's one of my absolute favorite mafia movies, and the fact that it's based on a real story, unlike The Godfather. Joe Pistone. I know I say this about a lot of things, but I'm telling you the truth. I met Joe Pistone very briefly. I had a job working where a lot of famous people would go, and that was a cool dude. I spent about 45 seconds with him, but he didn't say forget about it, not even once. I was hoping I could get a hey, forget about it, or a go fuck yourself, or one of those. I was like really hoping to get something out of him, but he wasn't playing. But I worked at the U.S. Capitol building, and he was up there to testify for something in front of some committee. And I was like, no way. It's Donnie Brasco. Okay, so I do have I want to paint that lasso just because it'll be fun to actually pull out a brush and actually do something easy. But I do have one small conflict. Let me make sure. Okay. That conflict is this part of the lasso is black, and this is black skin tones and gray. And I'm afraid that might not go well. So I'm gonna do the ground affected trick. And I am going to paint the entire thing with deck tan. And then come in with the gold. And the gold that I'm going to use is just going to be this one. Because I do want it to look a little bit different than the rest of the gold on her. I do not know if what I'm doing right now is going to be necessary. Necessary? Necessary? Come on, somebody bring it. You can bring it. Somebody can bring that one. That's child's play right there. Necessary? Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine? No. I think he says something along the lines of, but it's good for you and I like the taste. That gave it away. So since I gave it away, you have to not only name the movie, which that was just a total softball, but you also need to name the character, not the actor, the character. First name and last name. Now, I have said it 17,000 times on this channel. I'm not here to educate. I'm hopefully here to inspire. People like Joe Provenzano, hey, forget about it. Hopefully, will see what I do and possibly be inspired to do this kind of thing too. But if you are watching this and you're wondering why am I doing this? Why am I painting this white / kind of gray only to then cover it up with gold? Well, I'll tell you. As long as somebody's gotten that movie reference already. Child's Play, how dare you? How dare you? It is not Chucky. There's only 13 people in here, so there's a chance that not everybody has seen this movie. But anyway, the reason why this is not just me. I'm not the only one that does this kind of thing. Almost everybody, at least, I don't know. Maybe I just wish it's everybody. People who paint models will do this. It's not something that I do just because I'm good like that. But the reason why you do it is because these acrylic paints are quite translucent. They are not as opaque as you might think. They are, if you put enough coats on, they're completely opaque. But we thin these paints down slightly. When I brush paint, I thin it just a teeny bit with water, and it makes the paints somewhat translucent, see-through. And there we go. There's my first slip because I'm sitting here trying to talk while I'm painting. That's easily fixable though. I don't even know if you can see that because of the angle you're at. So the color that's underneath is always going to affect the color that goes over top of it. So if it's really dark, it'll make the color appear darker. If it's really light, it'll make the color brighter and appear more brighter. So that's why I'm doing this, because I've got a bunch of different colors going on here. And I want to make sure when I do put the gold on that everything lines up. You know, everything's the same color. And I'm not looking at the chat, so I don't know if anybody's gotten that reference yet. If you haven't gotten it, though, you really should be ashamed of yourself. And you should watch really good movies. That is a quote from the great Patches O'Houlihan from Dodgeball. And he says it right before he throws the wrench in that guy's face. The guy whose name escapes me. I don't know everything. I do know a lot about movies. Probably more than I should know about movies. But everybody should know Patches O'Houlihan. Necessary? This part of the model making process is where I'm probably, I don't know, I'm probably better at this part than I am with the airbrush, but it's my favorite part. Because it's normally very therapeutic. Right now, with y'all breathing down my neck, not as much. That wasn't me saying y'all should leave. No, I do enjoy the whole live streaming thing. I'm being silly when I say that, but it is a level of pressure that I didn't realize when I first started doing it. When I started live streaming this whole part of the process, I didn't realize I was going to have rock stars in here like 3D Painter and Grumpy Vet and these guys that are like really good at this. But when you know you have people that are really good watching you, you can't help but think they're just sitting there. And I know you're not doing this, Ron, if you're still here. But it's like, I can't help but think that these people are just sitting there shaking their head like, what is wrong with this guy? Why would he start a YouTube channel? He ain't no good. I didn't start a YouTube channel because I'm good, because I'm not. I started it because I had a YouTube channel that I wasn't doing anything with. No, I'm kidding. I enjoy talking about this stuff. I enjoy all of that part. I hope to inspire, and I also don't know anybody that does this hobby. So it gives me people to talk to. I don't think, there's no requirement that you be the best there ever was in order to start a YouTube channel. That's ridiculous. When I started KG Tropicals, I was not the best fish keeper. I'm not the best fish keeper now. You don't need to be. You just need to look at it and you just need to say, hey, forget about it, right, Joe? That's all that matters. Forget about it. Go fuck yourself. You talking to me? He's not even Italian, is he? De Niro is, but that character, Eric Bickle, he's not Italian, is he? Are you talking to me? I was not going to leave that reference out there and ask if anybody knew that movie, because that's required. It's required that you know that movie. If you don't, it's way worse than not knowing Dodgeball. If you don't know one of the most famous lines ever to be recorded on film, are you talking to me? If you don't know that, then shame on your parents. That's what I have to say about that. Just like that. And that's all I have to say about that. If you don't know that, if you don't know that movie reference, then we shouldn't talk anymore. They are both lines that are absolute iconic Americana masterpieces. Even though I really was never a big fan of the movie Taxi Driver. I just wasn't. Like, it's really boring and it was really weird because Jodie Foster was like 14 and like there's that whole thing and it was just, I don't know. But I loved The Joker and it's kind of the same movie. So it's weird. I don't know. But it is a great scene though. But I don't know, Joe, the resident Italian expert, is Travis Bickle. Why did I say Eric? I'm going to tell you exactly why I said Eric Bickle. I'm not looking at the chat either if anybody already corrected me. I know it's Travis Bickle. The reason why I said Eric Bickle is because I lived my entire life up until 2022 in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And there's a radio show, which I love. They actually have a YouTube channel. They're called the Sports Junkies. They're out of Fairfax, Virginia. WJFK is what the channel used to be. I don't know what it's called now. And one of the Sports Junkies' names is Eric Bickle. But I know the character is Travis Bickle, but I always get them confused. Although I was not the biggest fan of Taxi Driver, I am very much a fan of De Niro's work. Maybe not a fan of the man anymore. I think he's kind of lost his mind. He's like 87 years old and he's probably not all there, but I think all actors and actresses and musicians should all shut up when it comes to politics. YouTubers too, unless you're a political YouTuber. I mean, shut up. Nobody cares. Robert De Niro, nobody cares about your politics. Just because you played freaking Michael Corleone, or no. See, I don't even like The Godfather. He played Vito Corleone. Just because you played Raging Bull and Meet the Fockers and all of you're in a lot of great movies. You're an amazing actor. Shut the hell up. Nobody gives a rat's ass about your politics. I don't care where anybody lines up politically. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you're on the complete opposite side of where I am politically. I don't care. We can still be friends. And I wish everybody looked at it that way. Especially these idiot millionaire actors. Like, just shut the hell up. Like, who cares? Anyway, there's a lot of crazy people in Hollywood. I still like their work. Tom Cruise. Probably one of the biggest lunatics on the planet. But man, that guy's in some good movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, he actually seems like a genuinely really good dude, Tom Cruise. But, you know, he's a part of that cult. Weird. He says weird stuff. Maybe not as much anymore. I think he learned. I think he learned people don't care. And I think he learned what Michael Jordan learned a long time ago. When he was asked about politics, he didn't act like he knows what he's talking about like LeBron James did. Michael Jordan said, I'm a Democrat, but you know what? Republicans buy shoes too. So I don't talk about politics. And that is so smart. And that's probably why that man's a billionaire right now. And also because of the fact that he's the best basketball player to ever play the game. I don't care what you say. Fight me. You're not going to win. I mean, if it gets physical, you might win, but you want to fight me on Jordan being the best basketball player ever? You're not going to win that argument. My 30-year-old son tries to argue that with me. And I'm just like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're 30. You weren't watching Jordan. I'm not talking about when he was with the Wizards. You might have seen him then. You didn't see Michael Jordan. So shut up with your LeBron James bullshit. Get out of here. Rain Man and the first Top Gun are good. The second Top Gun was good too. Very, very good. Republicans, but see, Joe knew. Bruce Springsteen was on the news tonight talking about lecturing at his concerts about how terrible Trump is. The anchorman said he needs to shut up and sing. Exactly. Why? Again, I don't care who people like, who people hate. I don't care who people vote for. If you're a billionaire like Bruce Springsteen, why would you think I care what you think about politics? Like, because you did the song Born in the USA? Because you did Dancing in the Dark? I'm supposed to listen to you about politics? Get out of here. What are you, crazy? I have no idea how I'm going to paint this without, because I have no way to clip it anywhere. I'm not going to paint it tonight. That's what the answer is. So, I need to let this deck tan dry here. So let me look at the chat real quick and see what the hell y'all are talking about. So much for free speech, huh? His concert, he can say whatever he wants. Sure, he can say whatever he wants. It doesn't mean everybody has to agree with it. And it doesn't mean everybody cares. That's the thing. I'm no fan of Donald Trump, the man. I'm not. I mean, but I don't care if Bruce Springsteen likes him. Why would I care about that? What difference does that make to me? I can't even get to the chat here. Let me see here. I can't even scroll through my chat. So, but listen, y'all, I don't want to talk about politics here. I'm not here to talk about politics. That's insane. So drop it. Let's talk about something else. I brought it up, I realize, but I brought it up to say I give two shits about what celebrities' politics are. I don't care. And what offends me is the fact that they think I should. That the celebrities think I should care about their politics. That's just stupid. I worked in the center of politics for 5 years. I saw how that place operates. It's a shit show. Let me tell you. It is the worst. Nobody up there is straight. And I don't mean everybody's gay. I don't mean that. I'm not talking that kind of straight. I'm talking about there ain't a person up there that's not a crook. And now that I am not employed by them, I'd say it to all of their faces. But I got the opportunity to meet a lot of cool celebrities by being up there. Uh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Steven Tyler, Michael Jackson, Joe Pistone. He's not a celebrity, but Nicolas Cage, Lisa Marie Presley, Bono, Denzel Washington, Sean Connery, the guy from Minority Report. I don't remember his name. He was one of the smaller actors on Minority Report. Not the guy from Australia that's really good looking. Not that guy. Why am I drawing a blank on that guy's name? He played Penguin. Come on. Anyway. He has a forum to speak out. People listen to him. Right, but Ron, what I'm saying is, why would anybody care? That's my point. Regardless of anybody's politics, his opinion is no more important than yours or mine. Just because he's made music? Fuck out of here. Just because LeBron James plays basketball? Just because, I don't know, Robert De Niro's a world-class actor? Why do I care? I don't. So, I am a free speech absolutist. But why would anybody care about some idiot and what he thinks politically? Or me, even me, like, I am 1/100 millionth as famous as Bruce Springsteen. But he's not famous because of his political beliefs. He's famous because he makes really good songs. So I could give two shits about his opinions about politics. And that's just how I feel. Some people do care, some people, but right. Everybody has their own, everybody can feel however they want to feel. But again, all I'm saying is, why do you care? Why would it matter? But I don't care about this. So let's move on. I'm kind of at a standstill here. I'll tell you where I'm at with this right now. I realize that deck 10, I could probably put that gold on now. But I'm not in a hurry. So I'm at a point where I just want to let everything dry. I'm sorry, I'm drinking a Coke and it's making me burp. I want to let everything dry and then see where we're at. See how I feel about the boots. Am I ready to put that white stripe on? The skirt, am I ready to start painting the white stripes? Or do I want to do some more highlights, some more shading, all of that kind of stuff? This is the point. If I was not live streaming, this is where I would be like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. I'm done. So that's what I'm going to do here now too. What's the tattoo on my arm? This is my daughter's name and birthday. I have one biological child. My wife has 4. And I got this before her and I even met. I have entertained the idea. I've not entertained it. I want to do the same thing on this arm, but her 4's initials, because my daughter's name is Skylar. It's 8 letters. I named her Skylar, my ex-wife and I named her Skylar before Skylar was a really popular name, because Skylar is my middle name. Skylar is my mother's maiden name. So that's why, anyway. But she has 4. I was going to do the first 2 initials of all 4 of hers, and then the date that her and I met. The problem is, the reason why I haven't done it is because I can't turn my arm over. Because I broke this arm when I was 15. And so, when everybody, we can all put our arms like this, right? And then you can turn your arm. I can't do that. Mine stops right there. So my arm is all crooked and weird. And so it would be like a banana. It would be weird. So that's why I haven't done that. And if I don't do it to match that, then it would just be stupid. So that's why I haven't done that. But anyway, all right, Ron, I'm not talking about that anymore. I don't even know what you said, but I saw the word Bruce. No disrespect. I'm over that. I don't talk politics. I don't care. I feel the way I feel. You feel the way you feel. Everybody feels the way they feel. And it has no impact on me whatsoever. And I don't give a rat's ass what a celebrity thinks. This is a great stopping point because I want to see where we're at. And I don't have any deadlines on this. I'm not doing this for anybody's money or, you know what I'm saying? Like, with no disrespect to anybody who does do that. Ron does commissions and he earns that money and that's great. I don't mean it that way. I'm saying I'm not there yet and I don't know that I ever will or ever even want to be there. But one of the main reasons why I would never want to be there is because I don't want deadlines. I want to be able to step away from it and let it process a little bit and then go back to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what I'm going to do with this. And now as far as when am I going to stream again, I don't know. Because tomorrow I have darts, and I'm sorry, I love y'all. But I'm not going to choose you over darts because darts is my only social time every week. If you don't have deadlines, Ron, that is smart because deadlines are the worst. When I was building custom cabinets, I'd be building these $40,000 kitchens for people and it would be like, they need to be ready in 2 weeks. And I'd be 4 a.m. spraying lacquers and it sucked. But anyway, I'm not interested in that. And I never do want to have any interest in that because I just want, who cares? I've already talked about all of that. But I don't know. Maybe between Tuesday, I don't know. See, I have my live stream for KG Tropicals Thursday. So maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, one of those 2 days. I'm not going to do both. I'm not going to I'm not going to do this every day because y'all are keeping me up late and but I don't know. We'll see. I'll schedule it the morning of whatever day it is that I'm going to do it, and we'll see when that happens. My son will be here Friday to start painting his model, and I'm not going to live stream that because that would just be weird, and I don't want that kind of pressure. He wouldn't care, but I'm not going to do that. But he won't be here Saturday. He's going to be here Friday, then he has to go back to work Saturday, and then I think he's going to be here Sunday. So I don't know. We're just going to see. We're going to see what happens. In the meantime, when I do have an opportunity to sit here and work on painting, I'm not going to be painting her. I'm going to be painting my John Wick model that I'm doing. And I'm really, really excited about it because it's got some things in it that I've never done before, like OSL and stuff like that. So I'm excited to work with that. So that'll be fun, or it'll be a huge disaster. I don't know. But I think it'll be fun. And So I'm just going to pick that back up again, get that done. Working on a large Punisher figure for my current commission. Oh, I'm well aware. Oh, you're telling Joe. Okay. Yeah, and see, watching Ron is a different experience than watching me. When you're watching me, you're watching some idiot that slaps paint onto models and then is happy at the end of the day. And he's real chipper and he's full of so much joy. And so is Ron, but Ron does it at a high level. I mean, like, that dude can paint. You want to learn how to do it, watch what that man does. And you can learn a thing or two, or 60. You might pick up on a thing or two from me, but you'll definitely learn a lot from him. He's doing it right, and it's awesome. It's fun to watch. And the idea I had here to do multiple camera angles, that's totally from him. He does that too, so it's great. So watch his stream, and you'll pick up on some things. Me, I'm just here because I enjoy doing this, and it's fun, and that's it. And again, I should have never done this. I should have never said this, but I did say it. I am only going to work on this model on this live stream. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take her and I'm going to put her somewhere else. Actually, she's going to go right here. And then John Wick, who's sitting right here, is going to come over here. And they're just going to go back and forth until they're both done. Maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. But other than that, this has been fun. And I learned a very valuable lesson last night. I just need to say goodbye, because if I don't do that, I'm going to end up talking to y'all till 2 a.m. So this has been fun. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm working on a video too. The Crazy Cat Lady. So that'll be out soon. So there'll be that. Bye.